Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. Welcome to Connections on Purpose. Whether you're here with us live on Zoom, joining us on Facebook, or watching later on YouTube, I'm glad you're here. This is your time to slow down, fill up, and connect with other heart-centered women who are making a difference in the world. I'm blessed to have one of those women here with me tonight, Kathryn Yarborough, who is speaking on Manifest Your 2026 Vision. Kathryn is the founder of Speakers with Heart. She hosts summits and provides training for women solopreneurs on how to use speaking to attract clients. When not working, Kathryn loves watching movies, going for walks, and dreaming up new possibilities for her business. And you can find out more about Kathryn at speakerswithheart.com. Kathryn, thank you for being here. I always love your talks, and you're on.
All right. Well, my friends, I invite you to join me in thinking about what a vision is and why have one. Because we're here to talk about manifesting your 2026 vision. And we've had in this group today, we've had some different perspectives on this time of the year. We're doing this in January and it is winter. So we've talked about from Cassandra Herbert about winter is a time of incubation. It's a time of letting the seed that's in the earth do its thing. It seems like it's not doing anything, but it's doing so much so that it can come forth. I thought it was interesting in preparation for this presentation on visioning, because vision is kind of like that seed. And without the seed, the big oak tree doesn't come forth, or the flowers, or the whatever. And it's the same with what we want in our lives or what we want in our businesses. If we're not visioning, it's just going to happen by default. And so your life's just going to keep unfolding by default, which might be perfect for you. Great. But if not, and you want to co-create with the universe, with all that is, one of the first things to do is to allow what you want to come into your mind as a vision. So as we think about that visioning process, what is a vision and why have one? If you have some thoughts about it, write it in the chat. I'm going to share with you what a vision is to me at this moment in time. And I think of it like a picture. It could be a photo of a moment in time, kind of like that's a picture of a moment in time at the ocean. Of course, I put the word breathe on there, so it's not really quite a picture, right? But it's a moment in time. Any photograph is a moment in time. Or a vision could be kind of like a movie or a video. So that you look at a day passing or a week passing or a month passing or the different things in this year. When we have a vision that allows us to see something, so Susie says hers is a movie. When we have a vision that we see it in our mind, whether it's a moment in time, like I can imagine at the end of hosting a summit, and I reflect back on the experience, that moment where I'm reflecting back on the summit, where I'm looking at my accounts. I love to count out money and see how much money I make. And I'm looking there and I'm thinking about the whole experience. And I'm going, wow, look at that number and think about that experience was great. I had a wonderful time with my speaker. I can imagine that moment and feel the good feelings of it. And that's the kind of a vision. So something is happening in it. somebody's in that vision. Like you're probably the main character, the main focus when you see it. And it's possible with your vision, you're the character in the movie or the person who's in the picture looking out. Like when I think about that vision that I just described, I'm looking out of my eyes. I'm looking at the document. I'm feeling the thoughts as I imagine the summit, right? Versus looking at myself doing it. So it has something that's happening, somebody's doing it, and I'm going to add feelings in there. I think a good vision has what you're feeling as you're experiencing the what's happening, right? So if you want to manifest something, if you want 2026 to have an experience that you've never had before, or that's not like last year in some way or another, it's helpful to start with a vision. Do you all agree with me? Yes, I'm getting nods, thumbs up, fantastic. So all about the feelings, Cassandra says, I love it. So I was in a networking meeting a week or two ago, and somebody asked something like, what is your big vision what is your big vision? And I'll tell you what popped up that I didn't want to share there because I didn't know anybody, but it was, I want to feel successful. So I'm sharing it here. Anybody on YouTube who watches, whatever, it's fine. So and it was a feeling and a thought. So earlier in this group, I asked y'all, what would you like to experience in 2026 for your life and your business? And everybody had an answer, except for Jenny, who wasn't with us in the breakout room. We all had answers, something that popped into our mind. And in many ways, it's like the skeleton of a vision, what popped into our minds. And that moment when I was in that group and the thought, I'm really, my big vision, I want to be successful. I want to be successful. That's just like a word with a kind of feeling to it. So what we're going to do today is use this tool that some of you have used with me in the past. Some of you, it may be new. I call it a new story process, and it can be both used for manifesting what you want, and it can be used for visioning what you want. And then as you keep bringing your attention to it, it can then become something that you actually manifest. So if you know what you want, you use this new story process, the simplest way to explain it is you identify what you want, and you turn that into an affirmation, like instead of saying, I want to be successful, I am successful, makes it in the present tense. That's an affirmation. And then you add, and this means, and becomes a sentence completion prompt. I am successful, and this means. And the way I teach it is that you write it down. So you're going to need some paper, ladies. You can do it on a Word document or paper and pen, however you want to, in just a few minutes. You're going to do it. And I do bullet points. Some people like to write it in paragraphs. So however your mind works, you do it however you want. And it's about painting the picture of this thing. And why this works for visioning is we can flesh out a skeleton or just a seed of an idea / feeling like I am successful, and write, what does that actually look like? Make it either a point in time or that video thing, that film experience that's really, this happens and this happens and this happens. But as we write it down, if we paint the picture that something is actually happening and we can see it, it's not just some ambiguous thought. Like I am, one piece is that I'm I'm generating a life-sustaining abundant income. Well, that's kind of I could say an amount, But what's even better for me is that I look in my income document, and when I see how much I made that month at the end of the month, I feel abundant and joyful. So, and maybe it's an amount, it just depends. Sometimes I will do amounts, but it just depends. But it needs to be more than just these unique thoughts. So, um, okay, I'm looking at my notes here. So I want to say, I want to be successful, and I've wanted it for a long time. So I don't know about the rest of y'all. If there's anything that you said that you would like to experience in 2026 that you've actually wanted for a long time. Like, I've really wanted to feel the feeling of being successful for a long time. And the question is, why doesn't it happen? And I'm going to share for me, and maybe y'all can relate in some way or another. Maybe you can relate and it hasn't happened yet. You relate to it. Hasn't happened yet. I've wanted it for a while, but it hasn't happened yet. Okay. So a few years ago, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my business. So how could I be successful if I wasn't sure if I wanted to do private sessions or do trainings? Then I went into this whole conflict between, am I just going to host summits, am I just going to do mentoring and training? So for a year and a half, I was back and forth. How could a person be successful when they're going back and forth in their minds and their vision isn't clear? And then last year, most of you know, my mom's health declined and then she ended up dying. And my family took time away at so much of last year, even though she didn't pass until November 30th. I mean, it was just a lot. So how could I be successful when my family needed me? So I know I'm not alone in this. So things happen. But what if 2026 could be the year that we really manifest the something or the thing that matters to us? I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to write an answer. I don't want, actually, it's a fill in the blank. This is a fill in the blank, and I want you to write an answer. You can either write it to yourself or you can put it in the chat. And the sentence completion goes like this. I don't want December 31st, 2026 to come around and I still haven't blank. I don't want December 31st, 2026 to come around and I still haven't blank. Is anybody willing to share what comes up? Does anybody need me to repeat that?
Yeah, I'm getting tired actually of hearing myself say I want to get my class online.
Okay.
And this has been going on for a while because I know that this is the way I can reach more people. And that's really my objective at this point. I want to get the message out to as many people as I can. So, Kathryn, why am I not doing it? Yeah, I mean, that's the big question. Why have I not done this for the past 3 years, right?
Okay, all right. Well, you're going to write a vision today, and then I will tell you, Judy, how you can keep working with me so we can get this darn thing manifested. Okay,
I hope so.
I love it. So Judy answers, I don't want December 31st to come around, and I still haven't gotten my classes online. Beautiful.
Exactly.
One other person willing to share their answer. You can unmute if you're willing. Susie says, I don't want to have not transitioned to evergreen. Okay, very good. It's like it's really clear. I'm clear. I don't want it to come around and I don't want to, and I still haven't gotten fit. Yeah, even though I didn't want to before. Is someone else raising their hand? Nope. Okay, all right. It's powerful to speak it out loud, but that's okay. So I want to be fit and I want to have created my business so that I feel, if not successful by December 31st, everything is in place so that it is happening in January 2027. Like I'm, it's like everything is so close there that, yeah. All right, ladies. So we're going to work on that vision thing. So I want you to choose one thing. Maybe it's the one thing for your business. Maybe it's the one thing for your life that you answered the question, if anything could happen in 2026, what would you like to experience in your life, or what would you like to experience with your business? And so we're going to turn that into an affirmation, and you're going to write a new story. I'm going to give you my example so you get a sense of how this actually works while I pull up my little clock here. And I will be, once I read my example to you, I'm going to give you 4 minutes of quiet, unless you have a question and you want to ask me. So it goes something like this. Yours is going to be unique to you, but we're trying to paint the picture of what this is. So I feel successful, and this means, so you start with the affirmation, then you add "and this means," and then you're going to do either bullets or paragraphs. And this means that I generate a life-sustaining, abundant income, and that means that I make sales every month. When I look at my income document, I see over $5,000 a month and sometimes over $10,000 a month. And oh yeah, that feels really abundant. My marketing works, and I'm a magnet to my ideal clients and consistently attract them. I feel successful, and this means I'm organized with my time. So I know what I'm doing, and I know what's mine to do. And I happily work with an admin who does the things I don't need to do and that she can do. I feel successful, and this means I'm known by others as a coach for women solopreneurs who want to use speaking to attract clients. And I know this because I get referrals for my programs and courses. So I have more on here, but I don't want to take up your time. So I'm going to be quiet. You have 4 minutes. Does everybody get the instructions? You've taken what you want. You've made it like an I am statement. You add "and this means." If anybody needs help, now is the time to ask. Okay, get started. One more minute. Finish what you're writing. Judy looks excited. That's great. So, my friends, what might happen if you reminded yourself of this new story, of this vision every day, maybe just once a day, every day for the first 6 months of 2026? Maybe you read it, maybe you rewrite it, maybe you're driving in your car and you say it out loud. You bring your attention back to it once a day for the first 6 months. Is it possible that it's going to be manifested either within those first 6 months or the second 6 months because you gave it so much attention that it like you're going to want to, when it's the right time, water it because it's going to start to sprout. And you're going to want to make sure it gets sunshine because it's going to need that, whatever that means for you. Because you gave it enough attention, which is what we're doing, when we're just letting it be there. And what I love about visioning is it's kind of like trying on clothes. Before the days of shopping online, I don't know. I remember going to stores, and this was before I gained extra weight, and it was actually fun to try on clothes, and I could, try this on or that on and go, well, that looks cute on me. That doesn't look cute on me. Anyway, we'll see what happens if I actually shed some pounds with my new lifestyle goals, and if I want to go shopping again. But I remember, you try something on, it's like, oh, I like the way this feels. That's what you can do with this visioning process. If it doesn't feel good, either edit the content, the fleshing out, or the original idea. Let it go. But try it on in your mind and let the good feelings come if they're there. If they're not, something's not right with the vision. That's what I have to say. So, ladies, what might get in the way of you reminding yourself of it and manifesting it? Life happens. You get distracted by the minutia of running a business. I know what that's like. I got to write this email. I got to go to this networking meeting. I've got to prepare this presentation. I do all of that. And it's like, this is what my energy gets like. I am no longer magnetic to my clients. They're not going to fly to me. I'm going to be pushing them away because I'm doing all of this. Because I'm not bringing and I won't come back to I forget to come back to the vision. The things don't happen, right? So those things can get in the way. My marketing ideas might not work, and then I get disappointed, and then blah, 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 and then I'm done. So what can you do so these things don't stop you? And I'm going to give you the answer right now. Book a Manifest More Clients complimentary consultation with me. How's that I'm going to put that in the chat. And this is really, y'all, for those of you who actually truly want to grow your business, and you might want to find out what it's like to work with me. That's what we'll be talking about, whether or not working with me in some way or another would be useful for you, so that you actually do this thing that you're thinking about doing. And I have packages that start at I think $497. So we can do a lot with that to get you going with all this. So anyhow, it's something to consider. And yeah, so let's manifest that whether you work with me or you do it on your own or you do whatever you do. I know each one of you is an amazing human being, and I am grateful that you shared your ideas for 2026 with me. At least before those of you watching the replay, you didn't hear all of the wonderful things that are going to be happening in these people's lives. So thank you all very much. Jenny.
Yes, I'm coming.
Okay.
Wow, Kathryn, thank you. Everybody here with us on Zoom, unmute yourself so we can clap and Kathryn can hear us. And let's make some noise and show our appreciation and love for all this great information she gave
Well
us.
done, Kathryn. Thank you.
Yeah, Kathryn.
Woo, woo, woo,
Well, Kathryn, thank
woo.
you. I've heard you talk about this a lot, and I got something new today from this. So thank you. Thank you for that. Well, because I want to give you all time to do this before we end this recording, I do want to remind everyone to put your information in the chat so that other people here can find you, anything you want to put in there, link to, or anything like that. And be sure you save the chat before you leave here today. But I want to thank anyone who's watching this live, catching the replay. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. If you'd like to get more involved, join us for future Connections on Purpose gatherings or read the On Purpose Woman magazine. Go to my website, opwgc.com. That is also in the text of this video, and Kathryn's website is in the text of this video as well. So until next time, stay inspired, stay connected, and stay grounded in purpose. Thanks for watching.